This is the Financially Simple Podcast, the show dedicated to destroying the complexities of money for today's small business owner. The content of the show is for informational purposes only. This show is not investment advice. Instead, seek help from a competent financial advisor or conduct your own due diligence. Justin Goodbread, CFP, is an investment advisor representative of Heritage Investors, a registered investment advisor only conducting business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Here's your host, pizza-loving certified financial planner, Justin Goodbread.
And welcome to Season 2 of the Financially Simple Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Goodbread. Today, guys, we're tackling one of the most difficult areas of financial planning. This single area, this one single thing will make or break your financial future. This one little area. It's very frustrating to many. In fact, some people, whenever I start talking about some of the words today, they're going to say, Justin, you are hurting my ears, man. Today's topic is, how do I determine how much to pay myself? So as you know, we spent last season dealing with growing our businesses, creating maximum value. We've got a couple books coming out. I'm excited about that. But ultimately, many times the business owner doesn't think about how much to pay ourselves. Inevitably, what we end up doing is we go to work, we bust it, we produce revenue, we pay bills to the company, and then whatever's left at the end of the day, end of the year, end of the week, end of the month, at the end of the time period we're measuring, we simply take the spoils. We take the proceeds, the extra efforts from the business, and we spend it. But friends, there's a better way. There's a better way to do this. You can actually control your life. So today's topic, how do I determine how much to pay myself, boils down to one simple word. And here it is. If I had a drum roll, I'd roll the drum here, but here it is. It's called personal budget. Your personal budget dictates how much money you should pay yourself. Today, we're going to walk through the process of building your budget. Now, look, before I go any further, I don't have these in my notes. I'm just thinking out loud. I've used that word budget many times in my career, and budget often takes a connotation that it is limiting, that it is restrictive in nature. Friends, it could be further from the truth. If you are able to dictate where all of your different monies flow, then you have freedom. You have liberty. You know where your dollars are going. You know the amount of work or effort that you need to produce through work. We want to create a system that we're not having to live paycheck to paycheck like we talked about last episode. We want to be in that avenue. We want to be in a system where we lay our head on the pellet in the day, that we're not stressing over how we're going to pay our bills or obligations at home. That should be the furthest thing from my mind. At Heritage Investors, in my company, which we consult business owners and help them grow their financial net worth, we use financial planning software on the personal side and on the business side, which tracks and builds budgets, both on the individual and on the corporate level. And you can do the same thing. You don't have to work with a planner. Now, maybe you do need help. You say, Justin, I need help. I can tell you success story after success story of people who work with someone like ourselves here at the company who have just seen unbelievable growth, the accountability partner. One day I'll probably do an episode on what's it like to work with a planner, but you don't have to work with a planner to use accountability software for budgeting. You can use companies like Mint, M-I-N-T, Mint. Quicken's a popular one, and there's many, many, many more. I mean, if you go on your device, your smartphone, and go to your stores, your Apple Store, your Google Store, and pull down budgeting software, there's a ton of them. And they're helpful. They're helpful. They can begin to track and give you an analysis of where you're spending your money. Many will look at the idea that we have variable or fixed expenses. So they may use the term discretionary or non-discretionary expenses. And I've used those in the past in business level. But at home, we want to ultimately design our budget to the dream budget. So what is a dream budget for the house? I'm going to deal with this in percentages to help you identify how the dream budget should be for us business owners. So 50% of your after-tax income, and I'm going to come back to that after-tax. Let's consider take-home pay. 50% of the money you deposit in your personal account should go towards your needs. Some we call these fixed expenses, some we call these non-discretionary expenses. But they should go to your needs. And your needs are like housing, food, transportation, medical, your minimum debt payments. So 50% of your budget should go to your needs. If you're making $100,000, that means $50,000 should go to your housing, your food, your transportation, your medical, and your minimum debt payment. And again, we're talking about the money that is deposited into your bank, your after-tax dollars, your after-tax income. So 50% goes to your needs. 30% of your money should go to your wants. So what's a want? It's clothing. It's entertainment. It's vacations. It's restaurants. It's that new toy. It's that extra event for your child. Okay? Those are all wants. Some people refer to these as variable or discretionary expenses. I call them your wants. So we have our needs versus our wants. Now here's where it gets tricky. You want to make sure that you don't place your wants into your need category. Your needs are the things that you got to pay come hell or high water. If the economy collapses tomorrow, you have to have these things. Housing, food, transportation, medical, and your minimum debt payments. If the world comes to end tomorrow, the economy crashes like it did back in 07, 08, 09, chances are you're not going to go out and spend a lot of money on new clothing consistently. You're just not. You're probably going to do like my family does. You go to Walmart, or you're going to go to the Goodwill, or you're going to buy things on clearance. Those are the needs. You're not going to go on fancy vacations. You may not take a vacation at all. I remember a real popular term that came out, staycation. You're staying at home to take a vacation because we were broke back in 07, 08, 09. You're not going to eat at restaurants. You're going to go and buy you some beans and rice and throw it in the crock pot and have a good meal and thank Jesus for the food. That's what you're going to do. That's a need. Your wants are in excess of that. It's discretionary money. It's the variable monies. So we have 50% of our money that we take at home going to our needs. We have 30% going to our wants. That leaves 20% to go towards savings and investments. So you're going to put 20% of your money back for your emergency fund, your retirement plans, your extra debt payment. Maybe you're going to go ahead and start saving up to buy that next vehicle, or short-term savings, long-term savings. Maybe you're going to use it to pay for a vacation cash in about 3-4 years. 20% of our take-home pay should go to savings. So let's dig down into those. Again, I'm talking about the ideal budget, the dream budget. This is like go to sleep at night, don't worry about finances ever again budget. So let's dig into these things a little bit. The first area we talked about is our needs category. The needs. So 50% of our after-tax dollars goes to needs. So how are we going to break that down? Roughly, out of the money that we're receiving in our income, only 25 to 35% should go to housing. Only 25 or 35% should go to housing. So let's say that you're making an after-tax income of $100,000. Only $25 to $35,000 a year should go to housing. That's $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Let that sink in for a second. You say, well, Justin, I'm in good shape. We make $100,000 a year in take-home pay, and I pay $2,000 a month for my house payment. Friends, I didn't say your house payment. I said your housing. And here's where it gets tough. Because many people have over-purchased their house to their income. They have. Now, I realize if you're not making above, $50,000, $60,000, I realize that it costs more to rent someplace. I know that. I'm talking about business owners here. Business owners who typically have a little bit more income once they're established than the average layperson, the average person working a W-2 job. I'm talking about somebody making just middle of the road, not even super affluent. See, housing is the single largest determination of our budget, or in our budget. Think about it. We're not talking about just the mortgage. We're also talking about utilities, insurances, taxes, maintenance, and repair. You can even go as far as saying where you live determines the mode of transportation, the type of car or truck you have to buy, because depending on how close you are to where you're located. If you're renting an apartment right across the street from where you work, you may can get away without even having a car. There's ways to do this. But only 25 to 35% of your total after-tax income should go to housing. How are you doing this far? Justin, I'm way over. Or Justin, I'm well under. I know whenever Emily and I built our house, this is my model. This is how I live my life. When we built our house, the banks approved us for much, much, much more in loans than what we wanted. We didn't pay cash for the house. If you've heard me talk about that, you know I don't believe in paying cash for the house. I can prove it mathematically. I'll tell you not the point for that. We'll talk about that in future episodes. But we actually built a small house. We downsized from a 4,700 square foot house down to a house that's about 2,100 square foot. We could have built a 4,000, 6,000 square foot house. We could have afforded it on paper. But I wanted to get my payments, my housing allowance down to that 25 and lower portion of my take-home pay, my after-tax income. So the next thing in our needs category we have to talk about is our food. We have to have somewhere to live and we have to have some food to eat. About 5 to 10% of your after-tax income should go to groceries. This is just basic. I call it Walmart Target money. Okay, this is maybe not just bananas. It may be toothpaste. It's the basic grocery needs. You know, we lump a lot of stuff in that grocery thing. So don't get too technical with me and say, well, Justin, you never told me where I buy my hairspray from. I'm throwing in the groceries here because that's some people, that's a need for some people. But you want to have about 5 to 10% of your after-tax income go to groceries. Friends, I see so many people spending so much more than that. So let's get back to our example. You're making $100,000 a year in income. You're only talking $5,000 to $10,000 a year in groceries. You're like, Justin, there's no way possible. I have 3 kids. Trust me, I'm with you. I have 4 people that stay at home that I support, my wife and 3 kids. It is hard. That just means we're not eating steak every night. We're going back to our beans and rice. If I'm making $100,000, we're not going to spend more than about $800, $900 a month on our groceries. You can do it. Justin, there's no way. Yes, there is. I deal with this too many times in my life. You can do this. Yeah, we're talking about the dream budget here. You may say, Justin, there's no way. All right, let's keep going. If you're now having to deal with transportation, as many of us do, you should only have about 7 to 10% of your after-tax income going to transportation. Again, this is not just a car payment. This is insurance, gas, maintenance, taxes, registration, everything that you deal with at transportation. If you say, Justin, I live in the city, I do not have a car. Great. That should be your bus fare. You're buying your bike. I have a friend of mine. All he has is a bike. He buys a nice little bike and he has to be transported, has to repair it. You want to keep it 7 to 10%. You're at this point saying, Justin, there's no way. Chances are there is a way. You just don't want to do it. We don't want to reduce our lifestyle down to that 7 to 10. Instead, we want to ride around in big fancy cars. I was talking with an individual yesterday. Just yesterday, they were bragging about this new car. They're in their early 50s and they're sitting here saying, yeah, I just bought this $80,000 car. Now they're making about $160,000 a year. And if you run the numbers there, their payments are real close to that 7 to 10% range, but they don't have any retirement accounts, like none whatsoever. Zero, zilch. Think about that. They're spending their retirement driving around some metal with some paint on it. So only 7 to 10% of our budget, our after-tax income should go to transportation. That leaves 5 to 10% should go to healthcare. That's basically all the things you need: doctor visits, toothpaste, contacts, glasses, hearing aids. I think I might do hearing. I'm going deaf. But anyways, all those different things. About 5 to 10% should go to healthcare. 5 to 10% or so should go to work-related expenses. This could be transportation expenses. It could be education, work. It could be childcare if you have childcare while you go to work. And then here's what most people get hurt on: 2 to 5% should go to your minimum debt payments. So these are not your car payments. These are not your house payments. These are other payments, credit card payments, maybe other loans that you might have. 2 to 5% should go to your minimum debt payments.
You're listening to the Financially Simple podcast. Show your support by subscribing to this and our other educational business channels at financiallysimple.com.
And at this point, you're saying, Justin, dude, everything that you just described eats up 70 to 90% of my after-tax payment. Okay, so we're not living in the ideal budget. We just dealt with what I'm calling only 50% of the money, and you're now saying, Justin, it's not 50, it's close to 70, maybe 80, maybe 90% of my take-home pay is going to that. All right, so what do we do? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to steal our money from our wants bucket. Remember the wants? The wants was we want additional clothing, entertainment, vacation, eating out. We're going to reduce our wants. We're going to reduce our entertainment. We're going to reduce our vacation time so that we can cover our needs. Second thing you can do is you can increase your income. Maybe it's time for you to increase the money your company is taking. You say, Justin, I'm working as hard as I can, and I cannot produce any more revenue at this point. Okay, then maybe it's time for a side hustle. You say, Justin, I've just started out a business, or I have a business that's highly successful. Depending on where you're at, maybe it's a side hustle, maybe it's time to increase the company. You say, Justin, neither one of those are options. I'm doing 80, 90, 90, 100 hours a week trying to get this company growing. All right, let's go to number 3. It's time to do a massive overhaul on your financial life. Maybe it's time to sell the house, sell the cars, sell stuff. Bring your budget into line. Bring it down to this dream budget. Oh, Justin, seriously. I'm telling you the dream budget. The dream budget is you want to have your needs equaling about 50%. Now here's the tricky part. Here's where it gets really tricky. If you're properly contributing through your retirement accounts at work, what I mean by that is, let's say that you're maxing out your retirement accounts at work and you and your spouse are putting $40, $50, $60, $100,000 back in retirement. Maybe then you can shift the 20% portion that we had slated to go to long-term savings. Remember we had said there's 3 buckets of money we're going to put. First one's your needs, 50%, 30% goes to our wants, and 20% goes to our long-term savings. Well, if you're already contributing at work before you bring your paycheck home, maybe now you don't need to save as much. Maybe you don't need that 20%. Maybe you can slide that 20% of savings, long-term savings, over into your needs category to increase your lifestyle. That's a possibility. I'm not going to deny that. But this is only if you have your debt under control. See, in our needs category, we're covering housing debt, our mortgage, and we're covering our car debt. But man, if you have tons of credit card debt or tax debt or other loan debt or student loan debt, then you're going to need that money to help reduce our liabilities. See, remember, there's 2 sides to a financial statement. There's the asset side, which is where we are buying a house. We have an asset now. We are putting money in our retirement accounts. We have an asset. But there's also a liability side. We should be attacking both of these simultaneously. But that's another episode for another day that we're going to get to. And with that, I'm going to take a quick time out and say, hey, look, check out the Financially Simple blog right now. We've launched our new debt reduction course. Maybe you're saying, Justin, man, my debt is killing me. You're a perfect candidate to check out the new course. It's reasonable. It's not overly priced. We actually have a couple people already purchasing it, and we're getting some decent reviews back, making some adjustments to the course. So check it out. It'll help you map out a way that you can destroy your personal and your business debt in a systematic and a thought-provoking way that includes taxes and includes various liabilities. So it's a really detailed course specifically for business owners. And you can find it at financiallysimple.com. Now, look, another caveat to building the budget and trying to figure out how much you're going to bring home goes back to what I spoke about in episode 144. So just a few episodes ago, we started talking about the T, and how the T can control our life. So let me just do a quick refresher. If you haven't listened to episode 144, I'm going to take you back and listen to it. But whenever we are taking the amount of money that we have coming into our families after taxes, we draw a T. So we're going to go back to my $100,000 example. We would place $100,000 at the top of the T. On the left side of the T is our lifestyle. That's our budget. We want to make sure that all the money that we're spending in our budget is on the left side of the T, and that we really don't have a lot of excess on the right side. We don't really have a lot of extra money over there because we are trying to minimize our taxes. Now, if you're working with a comprehensive financial planner like myself, then we probably have your budget fine-tuned as much as possible to reduce your taxes. We probably have done that. If, however, the amount of money that you're getting after tax is greater than anticipated, here's the challenge that I like. I like to take our business owners who are struggling trying to make ends meet, get their budget in a lifestyle manner they want to live on, then grow their company so that the companies are producing more revenue than they can spend in the companies or they technically need. And now their tax bill comes into play. At that point, I'm trying to deploy that extra dollars into additional savings areas or additional debt reduction. So I hope that gives you an idea. How should you determine how much to pay yourself? It goes to your dream budget. Lay out your dream budget. Remember, 50% needs to go to needs: housing, food, transportation, medical, minimum debt payments. 30% goes to your wants. I want you to live. Vacations, clothing, entertainment. 20% is going to go to your long-term savings, which includes your retirement, your emergency fund, buying the next car, buying the future house, paying down extra debts. 20% of your take-home pay should go there. In the next episode, we are going to look at actually how to build the budget you can keep. So today I'm giving you the parameters on how much money you should pay yourself has to equal your budget, your dream budget lifestyle. In the next episode, we're going to actually deal with how to build the budget. So with that, friends, we're going to sign off. Hey, look, if you like the new series, if you have any thoughts on it, shoot me a message on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram even. Have some people out there on Instagram who did a shout out. I put a picture of, I think it was a duck. So we have a duck in our house now. Put a picture of the duck on Instagram. Someone's like, brother, I heard you on the podcast. Sweet. Love the duck. Hey, give me a shout out there on social media. But like I say every week, life is hard. It is. We can't deny it. Life is going to eventually hit us all square in the nose. But life is good. There's so much goodness around us. But you know what? Budgets, they can be frustrating. Hey, look, money doesn't have to be frustrating. It doesn't. Let's continue to make our lives at least financially simple. Y'all go out and create a great day.
You've been listening to the Financially Simple podcast. For more business and personal financial help and information, head over to financiallysimple.com today.